Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reflections with the Costas. Really pumped to share this episode. We're going to be talking about who you are outside of your business and how that determines effectively what happens in your business and how you're showing up for your business. Lorna and I have had several conversations over the past year, really just talking about all the things that we do outside of our business that contribute to our business growth that have nothing to do with business whatsoever. And we take a lot on, not just in terms of the tasks that we're doing day to day, but also just in the things that we want to experience in our life. And in doing all of those things, what we find is there's and it's kind of like unconsequential, there's a level of growth that starts to develop in our business because we start taking these different things on. So we come across a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners in different aspects. With Lorna, like it's whether she's in yoga, she's got a lot of friends that are business owners. For me, it's more networking. I come across a lot of business people that way. And I find myself, and I'd love to kind of hear your feedback, but I find myself in situations and conversations where I'm hearing someone who's very logical. They're all in their head, and they're committed to the identity of business owner means like I'm entrepreneur hustle. So all they're doing is just straight hustling. It's always like working. It's all about the business. They only take things on that benefit the business. And then what happens is they get caught in this cycle where they're like, oh man, I'm not seeing growth in my business. I've hit a wall. It's at a standstill. I can't get any more clients. Sales is starting to get tougher. And so they keep on asking for feedback of like, what would you do? Or how would you change this stuff in your business? And then it's interesting to me because in having those conversations, I'm like, well, when was the last time you took a day off?
Yeah.
Or when was the last time you spent the weekend with your family? Or when was the last time you took a trip? And the answer is always, well, no, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was even interesting, the other day we spontaneously went for a walk on that beautiful day. And I remember saying to you, this will help grow our business more than just sitting down at your desk trying to figure out the next move that you need to make, because when you experience more joy in your life, when you are also spontaneous in your day or in your life, it's you can be that way in your business. You don't have to take things so seriously. It's I feel like the more fun I have in my life, the more fun I can have in my business, and everything doesn't have to be so logical. I think for a lot of people, there's a lot of fear based off of, the past of I'm only going to grow my business if I push harder. I can't slow down. I can't take a day off. And it's how is sitting at your desk supportive for you? There's so many times I have writer's block, or I'm I don't know what to do. And I just get outside, go for a walk, or go to a yoga class. And I'm I have a million ideas, because life will always give you the content. Life will always give you the material, right? There's so many times I go to a yoga class and something that the yoga teacher said, a quote, I'm I can relate that back to my business, or I can support my clients with it, So it's not being afraid to be spontaneous and, go with the flow and have fun, because that will always translate it. You'll have more energy capacity, and also you'll be fired up to just launch something or to drop an offer. It's so much more easier that way.
Well, I mean, even speaking about the offers or the things that people are running, when your business starts to get stale, which is usually where this frustration and this wall starts to build, we end up looking at what are my service offerings? Can I run another marketing promotion? Can I be able to create another program? Can I bring on another professional? And we're always looking at what are the things that we can add in the business? And effectively what you're doing when you're doing that is we are trying to use our business to create energy inside of it. But that's not how it works. You're supposed to use the energy you're creating outside to then create in your business. And this is business is something that is just it is one part of you. It is not officially who you are. And a lot of people get sucked into the identity of trying to create through their business only, when in reality, there are tons of different ways of being able to create. And this is where you really have to look at the difference between creation energy versus energy extraction. When we are putting things into our business, we're showing up with a high energy state. We're going all in on an exciting idea. And with that, we are taking the energy from our personal lives and from the things that we do, and we insert that energy into our business in order to create. But what ends up happening is when we get in these stuck cycles is we say to ourselves, well, like, I need to start extracting the energy from the business in order for me to be able to feel better. And it's not one of those things. It's the same thing like when you build a community or you're building a group of people. You have to insert energy in order to be able to create. It's not pulling energy out of it. And it's not necessarily saying that your business can't bring you energy, because for Lauren and
Obviously, it does.
it brings us a ton of energy.
Yeah.
But it's not the only energy creator, and there gets to a point where you're starting it to extract more than you're creating.
Yeah. Or, I mean, we've all had those moments where it's like maybe on Monday, you're like fired up, you're in flow, you just got a new client, you put the, a fire piece of content out, or you had a networking meeting and it was, just you guys aligned together and it was great. And then the next day, it's like maybe you're demotivated, or it's like, oh, like nothing's coming to me. Don't try to push it. It's like it would actually be more efficient if you just took care of yourself. I think the biggest thing here is like people need to take care of themselves, because when people put their business as like this thing, it's like, then I don't take care of myself. I don't spend time with my family. And, you would be more effective if you took that time for yourself. And for me, I always say, like, if I am not taking care of myself, how can I take care of my clients? Like, if I can't follow through with my word, if I can't, get up when I say I'm going to get up, if I can't attend the yoga class I say I'm going to attend, if I can't go to bed at a certain time, how can I lead people? If you can't lead yourself, how can you lead other people? And I always think about that, whenever it comes to like, I don't want to get up on my first alarm. It's 5 a.m. It's pitch black. It would be really easy to just like sleep in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a moment, a leadership moment. And it's between you and yourself. Nobody can see this. Nobody's in your bedroom looking at you. It's the things that you do behind the scenes. Nobody's watching. How do you lead yourself? Because that will determine how you lead a client that's going through a challenging time. Can you be able to support them? You build leadership skills when you are more integral with your word and you do the things that you say you're going to do when nobody's watching. It's not about like telling people this is who I am. It's like showing yourself it's who you are. And then you don't even have to tell people.
It's interesting because what came up for me as you were talking, I noticed this in younger entrepreneurs, that the first thing that comes to mind is, well, that stuff's not going to help me build my business. Like me taking time for myself, and everyone wants to accentuate this hustle culture where it's like, oh, I'm working on my business until 1 a.m. every night. That's what a beginner entrepreneur says as like a justification of like, ooh, look how hard I work. But like, as we speak to older entrepreneurs, and Lorna and I exist in a friend group that's much older than us. I like to call us old souls. We don't hang out with people our age usually. Just kind of the circles that we found ourselves in. But I mean, we know business owners who are like mid 40s, mid 50s, like late 60s. I have a really good friend who just turned 63, and going through that process and listening to them recognize like taking care of yourself is important. Like spending time with your family is important. Connecting to source and God is important. Building relationships is something that matters. They say this now because they recognize after doing the hustle that it's not it. Like there's something past the hustle, in which case all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm actually not seeing any more of a result. And it's hard to convince younger entrepreneurs that this matters, because it's really tough to tie the benefits together. Like I can't tell you, if you go and do your workout in the morning and you prioritize yourself with a little bit of journaling, I can't tell you that it's going to translate to a client Wednesday at 2:30. Like it doesn't connect that way.
Yeah.
But overall, the person who gets the most sleep, shows up sharper. The
Yep.
person who's more connected with their family shows up more present at work.
Yep.
The person who takes that time to refresh and recover can then go and lead other people. And I can tell you this, people know this. Like, just like I can step into a networking room and I know, and look, like we've got a little one. And sometimes I show up and I'm like, I know that people know that I'm tired. I know this, but I have a legitimate reason. I have a child and there's a little bit of grace that's there. There are a lot of other people that I see in some of those rooms where I go, holy shit, you're really burning the candle, not on both ends. You're burning it in the middle, sideways, like every piece that you can touch on the candle is lit on fire, and it's not good for you. And if anything, it makes me not want to do business with you because I legitimately, I have a personal concern about how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're burning yourself out for everything that you've got going on, I'm actually not getting the best of you. And I don't always want to think that way because I believe that people are going to serve,
but it's true.
right? But you can't help but be like, man, like, look at how you're showing up. And here's how you know that you're in this really burnt out state. Like, you're late. You're late to everything in your life, not just your business. You're late to picking your kids up. You're late to, you say someone, I'm going to get you something at Wednesday, but you give it to them Thursday. You're late for client meetings. You're late for team meetings. Lateness is a signal that you're starting to burn out because promptness comes from energy. When you're aligned with something, you're there for it and you show up and you're all in. When you're late for something, that's starting to waver. So little things like that of lateness. And I'm like, holy crap, like I'm noticing you're starting to run out of steam, right? Or people who are very disconnected where they're in the room. Networking is especially interesting for this. You can be in the seat, but not be in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not here. You're thinking of 57 other million things that you've got going on rather than being present here. And this is because you have that energetic disconnect.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to say. And I think, a lot of the times too, it's like you have to ask yourself, are you actually fulfilled with what you're doing? Because the thing is, like, yes, like, again, there's going to be seasons where you're more exhausted, but if you're constantly like stressed out, if you're constantly like burning yourself to the ground, like you don't have systems in place, or you're doing something because you feel like you should be doing it, or maybe it's not aligned for you. It's like there's always a reason, right? Because we talk all about I think in the last episode or one of them we talked about like fulfillment.
But
I always joke to Andrew and I'm like, I'm not going to retire. Like I would do this even if I wasn't getting paid for it. It's like I would just do it because I love it. And when you do something that you love, it's like you're just in it, but not in the wrong way. I will work on weekends. Nobody's telling me. I was sometimes
we are literally this weekend.
Yeah. And we're doing like a 4-hour experience tomorrow. And it's like on Saturday, sometimes, or Sunday, sometimes I'll get up really early and work at like 5 or 6 a.m. Nobody's telling me to do that. And that's a difference between burning yourself out and working for the sake of like, I need a result, I need to do something, it's not working, compared to like, I love this so much, it fulfills me. And those are always the people that are going to get the greatest rewards because it's out of desire, it's not out of need.
Yeah. I think the word fulfilled too can kind of be a trap because a lot of people go, I can only be filled from my business when I'm seeing results, when money's being generated, when I'm doing this. And so you put conditions on that fulfillment. And this is where, like, especially coaching a lot of practitioners, there are a lot of people who start in the industry and they're like, oh man, like I used to love being a practitioner. And then they're like, now, like, I feel like I'm having the same conversations every single day. Right. And it's like, you're the one that's generating that. Right. Like whenever I go about looking at areas of my life, like when I feel like there's a sticking point, whether it's in my business or in my relationships, I really tend to ask myself, like, where in my life am I generating energy that fuels this? Right. It's not just the specific thing. It's where can I continue to fuel this? So if you're feeling a stagnant point in your business, there are other areas of your life that you can fuel to help you feel. So even just the word, right? Fulfilled. Right? When we fill ourselves, we feel full. And so we are fulfilled. That's the whole purpose of the word. but it's like, how else are you filling yourselves outside
Mhm.
of your business,
Mm.
And Lorna and I have tons of different ways that we fill ourselves. And I'd love for you to obviously share your ways and
Mhm.
stuff. But like a main purpose of like me running my business and me just operating at such a high level is the fact that I love to speak. Like I use speaking as a way to fill my cup outside of my business. And effectively, like I even joke with people, like sometimes like I just take on business things because I know that speaking is involved because it fills my cup in two forms. But when I look towards what fills my cup outside of business, I would speak even if I didn't get paid. And I've done that multiple
Yep.
times, right? Like my TEDx talk, which I don't know if I shared with you, it's at 4,700 views already, which is pretty
Nice.
crazy. So,
Awesome.
um, but it's like I would speak whether there was $10,000 involved or there was $10 involved, I
Yep.
would still speak.
Yep.
And in doing that and in sharing the message and doing things like reflections with the Costa, tea and teachings, hopping on podcasts, that stuff lights me up and helps bring energy into my business.
Mhm.
So, when you're looking towards fulfillment, like a good lesson for me that I really learned is like not everything that is tied to fulfillment has to monetize, has to make money. Like there has to be a monetization part of it.
Yeah.
Just like, having a really high level relationship with someone doesn't have to have money involved. It can really fulfill you.
Yeah. I mean, a few things that even I do that just like fills my own cup is like my walks. Like
Mm.
I just love going for a walk every single day. That makes me happy.
Mhm.
Going to my yoga classes, having time for myself, carving out that time for myself. And then also like, sometimes obviously now with Dominus it's a little tough, but like we used to do like those weekend getaways,
I love those.
and like just take a moment to, this is another thing, to celebrate.
Mm.
Like, to just bask in gratitude. Like, there are so many times, even on our walks, we'll be like, what are you grateful for? Like, what can we celebrate? And that is so like lean back, right? It's not push forward, like, what else do we have to do? It's like, let's just like soak this in. And the more grateful you are, it's like the more excited you are to build more of that. Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people celebrate themselves enough because it's like, oh, I'm not there yet. Or like,
Mhm.
but I'm still, she's here or this person's there. So like, I'm not there yet. But it's like, if you look at where you were maybe a few months ago or a few years ago, like you're leaps and bounds ahead, but you actually have to take a moment to be like, holy shit. It's so easy to be like, I didn't get the result that I want. But if you're not grateful for the 2 clients that you have, if you're not grateful for, the community of 10 people that you have, how are you going to have more? It's like you have to be grateful for what you have, appreciate what you have, and that really builds on itself.
For sure. There's an interesting trap that entrepreneurs fall into. Like in the beginning, it's hard for you to be grateful because you feel like I'm not there yet. And then when you get into a place of stability, what happens is whenever something good happens, you go, well, I don't want to get too high about it because I know that lows exist. Where in that
Mhm.
moment, I'm not going to fully get pumped up because I know next week or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have a problem. And people don't want to feel the highs and lows.
Yeah.
So they just don't feel. And that doesn't make any sense to me because the whole purpose of a low really, like, I don't believe that there's such thing as energetic lows. Like, I've really come to understand that it's like it's the energy density, right? You make the denseness to whatever it is. Every time I used to experience a struggle in my business or a challenge, I would make it feel heavy. I would make it feel awful. I
Yeah,
would
like
like,
something is
oh, this
wrong.
sucks.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, holy shit, why am I giving this thing so much of a heavy energy? Like
Mhm.
now, like Lauren and I experience challenges all the time. Like what was it last week? We had the bird's nest in the rental, right? Like just message from from our tenant, and they're like, hey, like there's a giant bird's nest we're hearing like flopping in the vents, and I'm like, all right, there's $600 gone just because of birds. I could have been like, oh man, this sucks. It's so terrible. And I was like, oh, I guess we have birds. Call a thing, deal with it
Just
right away.
tackle it.
It's
Like,
the energy that you
yeah.
give towards stuff. So if you want to celebrate something, give exciting, fulfilled energy to it. And if something challenging happens, don't give your energy away and make it be something that's super heavy.
I think also too, people kind of normalize things. It's like,
Mm,
well, I've been at 10K months for the past 5 months. And I'm like, okay, yes, you obviously want to grow. You want to get to 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever your goal is.
mm,
But like, don't normalize that. It's like, oh wait, holy moly, I've been at this for 5 months consistently, 6 months consistently. It's always that chase of like more. But it's the same thing in your life. You get engaged. Okay, I can't wait till we get married. Okay, well, then I can't wait to have the first kid. And then it's like, I can't wait to go travel. And then it's like, you're literally wishing your life away. You're wishing your business away. It's like, enjoy the moment, be proud of yourself, celebrate yourself. And that really creates the compound effect.
Oh, for sure. Right. And there are so many other ways, like, I feel like the examples we shared are a lot of, that physical change, right? It's like, how do I get physical feelings from it? Right. But sometimes it's also a matter of changing your environment too. Like one of the things that really fill our cup is travel. Like Lorna talks about these weekend getaways, which are more realistic now that obviously we have our son. But before it was like traveling, which is like actually put yourself in a new environment. We went to Costa Rica, we went to Japan, we went to Greece, we went to Florida. That's what it was, right? So all of these places where we went, we were like, you know what? We want to put ourselves in a different situation where we can experience a different energy. And of course, while you're there, you get huge revelations. You get huge forms of clarity. You get different stories and different ideas. And then, of course, when you come back, you go, wow, I'm so fired up for my business. And it's not necessarily that you did anything different, but it's you were in a different space that allowed you to create different stories and different energy.
Yeah. You get like, different perspectives. You break patterns of like habitual ways of thinking. It's like, and again, you don't even have to travel. Like, I can't remember if we talked about this in one of the things, but it's like, you like to work at a coffee shop, right? Different environment that way. Or like, we redid our office. So like different things like that can just like really, shift your energy,
Oh, for sure. 100%. I think another thing too is outside of your business, which your business exists a community, there are other communities in which you can pull energy from. Lorna has, of course, the mastermind, right? That you're still a part of. Yeah. So there's that mastermind that you're a part of. I'm a part of the men's group. And like, we regularly tap in and pull energy from those communities. For me, like the men's group is a great place where I can get like leadership. I can get that spiritual connection. I can get that camaraderie. And when I would look towards my business, I don't necessarily pull all forms of those energy from my business, right? Like not every client we're having spiritual conversations. Not every client we're having leadership conversations. So there are some types of energy that I'm just not going to fully get filled with, which is why community exists in the first place, right? When you're looking to put yourself in rooms with people who are like-minded and people who share your values, it's because you're looking to be a part of that energy. That's the whole purpose of being in the room, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's like when you're around other people that are playing it safe, that are playing it small without even recognizing, that becomes your baseline. And then you surround yourself with people that are like, 5 steps ahead of you, 10 steps ahead of you, and you automatically rise. Like you literally cannot grow when you're around other people who are growing. It's literally impossible because it's like you adopt their mindset, you adopt their thoughts. If somebody's like just always positive or like, I believe that's possible. What do you mean? You can do that. Absolutely. It's like, oh shit, like I actually can do that. And you automatically rise to match the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So a lot of the times too, you might be like, oh, look, I'm stuck. Like, why is my business not growing? It's like, well, who are you surrounding yourself with? Like just that simple check. I've had mentors that would like call me out, or, mentors would be like, you can do so much more. And just even like that belief piece of like, oh, like you see me. Thank you for seeing me. Now I can go see myself. Yeah. Which is really huge.
We regularly talk about in the men's group, like it is impossible for someone to go backwards in this group because the other people will just not let you.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
Thing.
Yeah.
So it's like once you're on the boat and everyone is rowing, whether you choose to row or not, you're
going to be on the other island. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So like, and sometimes that could even be like, especially if you're not accustomed to it, that can be like, oh, like, today I don't want to row and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's understanding that's okay. That's also a part of the process, right? But understanding like there are tons of different areas, and it's not just those communities and those groups, like your own personal relationship, your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your parents, friendships, different friend groups. You have to have all of these things, okay? Even a connection, a relationship with source or with God, right? Like Lauren and I go to church with Dominus like every single week, and we have for the past year. And that fills our cup from a spiritual perspective. So not only do we take the energy from those groups and we bring them into our business, we also take like all of the connections, all of the different realizations, all of the different stories. Like the power to bring a story into your business can completely shape so many of the things, the offers you talk about,
Yeah.
the services you're promoting or you're presenting, the way you're serving clients.
Yep.
You just become a more well-rounded person,
Yep.
being able to then share all of these things. But if
Yep.
it's always about business, there becomes this disconnect. And this is where like your clients especially, like they can feel when you're stagnant,
But also too, it's like, for me, when I look at somebody, it's like if I'm going to work with somebody, I look at, also like their lifestyle. Like if they, are just like, again, sitting at their desk and it's like, I can support you. It's like, but I don't want to be sitting at my desk the whole time. It's like, this person enjoys their life and they're going out, they're having fun, they're taking care of themselves. It's like, the values that you do, how you live your life is supporting your clients. It's attracting people more than you even think. It's literally like a marketing strategy to go and live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, because people want to work with others that are like them and that they know, like, and trust. So the more you continue to showcase a life that is very exciting and very bold,
Yeah.
your clients will pick that up and they're going to start to want to do that. You
Yeah.
know?
And it's not about like faking it. It's actually being an embodiment,
Mhm.
And again, if right now you're like, oh shit, like maybe I'm not doing that, like don't beat yourself up. It's just like, oh, like maybe I am going to go do something spontaneous. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, because if I'm asking my clients to step out of their comfort zone, am I going first? If I'm asking my clients to lean into the fear and to do something that's scary, like, am I doing that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's not like even so we talked literally, so my men's call was literally yesterday, so stuff is fresh in my mind. But the person who is an actor, these people who regularly act, they're technically not faking it. Like, what does an actor do? An actor researches the role, they look towards how this person is supposed to speak, they practice being that person, and then they embody that person. That's what they're doing. They're literally actively embodying, which is why good actors, you can't tell that they're acting. You're like, holy crap, it is this person. And technically, like, you are an actor in your business. You're an actor in your own life. But it's like, are you embodying all of these other things inside of your life that's also going to affect in your business as well, too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I wanted to bring up with you, which I would love your opinion on. I wrote a couple of things like signs that your life is starving your business, because what I find is when I have the conversation, especially with younger entrepreneurs, and I think it's because of our level of realization. Like, we spent a lot of time doing this work. So many people are so close to the problem that they don't actually realize that they're this disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like you can't see the forest through the trees. You
Yeah.
actually have to be out of the forest. And so I would love kind of your like bird's eye view of this forest in terms of like signs that your life is starving your business. Like, you are not doing the things in your life that's needed, right? So I was looking through some of the stuff that people have shared with me, and in those conversations, I came up with a couple of points, and then I'm sure you'll hit some stuff. Okay. So the first one is you dread consultations.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to avoid the conversations. You feel impatient with your clients or with your team.
Yeah.
You avoid marketing or showing up online. You start showing less of yourself. You feel like everything is effort. Just plain, it's like so much harder to do certain thing. And you're constantly thinking about your business, but your business is not actually moving forward. So all of the thinking, all of the planning, all of the doing isn't actually generating anything.
Mm-hmm. I would say like innovation. Like, you're just continuing to do what you've always done. You're marketing the same way, you're launching the same way, you're, doing programs the same way, and you're not like having the creativity to be innovative of how you're running your business.
So you think it's a lack of creativity?
Yeah.
That interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like that. And I never actually put the word creativity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was trying to explain to people, like, wow, it really sounds like you're disconnected right now. So it's not necessarily a matter of disconnection, but a matter of, hey, I just don't have any juices to be able to.
Yeah. And I also think too, it's like, you have to move yourself, so it's like, what can you do that's going to be exciting? And again, this is, I think it kind of ties into the innovation of like doing something different, like, again, if you've always like, the way that you've launched was like posting on like Instagram stories or, sending out emails. Can you do a challenge? Can you, network? Can you do something different that you haven't done to like create that excitement and like, move yourself first? It's like, you go first,
What would you say is your primary mover of all of the things that you do outside of your business that moves your business forward?
Taking care of me.
So just your personal self?
100%. I think there's that. And then something else that I do is I love when I bring my clients up and like we do like an interview together and they share like their progress and how far they've come. That lights me the heck up more than anything. I'm like, I'm ready to serve 25 million more people, because like when you recognize the change that somebody has experienced going through your process, like how can you just sit still and like not talk about your offer or not talk about your business? It's like, that makes me literally want to shout it from the rooftops and serve more clients. And that just propels me so far.
Interesting. Okay. For me, I would say it's a little bit different. I think when I spend more time with you, like family, like connections and relationships, I think, which is, and maybe some of you guys don't know this, like speaking might look like it comes easy to me, but speaking is still a form of energy, and you have to have energy to speak.
Yeah.
And when Lorna and I coach a lot of people, and she's, coaching online and stuff like that, it's not like we like walk into coffee shops, we're like, hello, like there are times where genuinely I just want to get a cup of coffee and I don't want to have a conversation. Right. And I think the thing that really lights me up and helps, not just from the creative juices, but it's like when I get to spend intimate time with you, and when I get to spend time with little Gooby and like, or just again, like my parents, like our close family, that really recharges me. Like, again, like the little impromptu breakfast that we had, our little date night at the,
Eat, Drink, Norfolk.
Eat, Drink, Norfolk. That type of stuff really revitalizes me. Because I recognized pretty early, and I think like I had to go polar opposite in order to recognize this, like through building the studio. It was all about the studio, and I got depressed like real fast. And it was going through that I was like, oh, there has to be a balance of both my personal life and my business life. Otherwise, there's not going to be a point if I build this thing, if I'm just going to end up hating it. So doing things like Eat, Drink, Norfolk and like spending that time together is really great, because then I can come back on Monday. And it's not always like, take the weekend off to work of the week. Like, Lorna already shared
Tuesday off.
Like when did we go for breakfast? I think it was like a random Thursday morning.
Tuesday morning or
Tuesday or Thursday, something like that. Morning. But it was just this impromptu opportunity to just step in and do something different,
And even right there, where did your mind go? Like, I can't take a random Tuesday off. I need to do that on Saturday. It's like, there's no rules, like I can't, like the reason that you started your business is to have the freedom. So if you're doing your business and you're like, I still have to, it's 3:00. I can't unplug yet. I have to work until it's 5:00. Then you're working a regular schmegular job. It's like, if you can't take a random Tuesday off, or like you can't do something spontaneously Thursday night, even I think it was last week on like a Wednesday, remember we went for like ice cream? Like you're like, do you want to go? And
I did.
Like,
Lorna literally just watched me.
But like, it was just like fun, and it's like, again, the more you can do that, the more you can unplug, the more you can just like almost like let loose and just like freaking have fun, like the better. You're just happier, human being. Like nobody is growing their business when you're like so miserable. Like it's like, just have more fun.
Yeah.
Have more fun.
And that's why like this episode talking about who you have to become in order for your business to be able to grow. You have to become a person that fully enjoys their life. Like hustle exists for like the first 10K of income. And then after that, it's no longer about hustle. Like more doesn't equate to better. And I think Lauren and I realized pretty quickly, like business is not our energy source. It's an output of our source. Like it is, we do a bunch of things in our life that then fuels our business and makes it more exciting, and that continues to perpetuate. And that's why we're always doing new things. It's why we're always changing up offers. We're always doing positionings. Like we take on spontaneous things. Like, you know, you've got your Unstoppable Badass retreat or event that's going to be at the end of May, which is literally like in a month, which is pretty freaking wild. You know, I got accepted to speak at CanFit, so I'm going to be doing that in August. Little things like that just light us up, you know, and we recognize very quickly that energy is supposed to be something that also flows. It's supposed to move. So if all you're doing is keeping the energy in your business and you just keep circling it, you're not generating more energy. The same energy is being used there. You have to let it flow through stuff. You know, you build your business so you have a good life, just like you build a relationship so you can have a good family. There's a purpose towards that energy, and you just have to start focusing more on your personal life because that might be the very thing that prevents growth from business.
Yeah. One last thing before we wrap up. It was June of 2024 when I had like my biggest month in my business. I cannot even tell you how much fun I had that month. It was just like, I just like took the best care of myself. I felt like I just like was enjoying the summer, just enjoying my life. We were celebrating nonstop. Like, and like the little things too of like, you know, like I just posted something and like it landed, or like, you know, one of my clients did this and it was just celebration. It was gratitude. It was fun. I love the summer. I love being outside. I would like eat lunch outside every single day. Like, it's just like the little things that just made me so happy. And it's no wonder that there was, you know, my highest cash month, because it's like, even when it comes to like, what should I send in an email? It wasn't that. It was like, I have this idea, like, I'm just going to send it, and you move faster. You take action faster because you're not in your head. It's like, you're enjoying your life. You're in momentum. And then the launch becomes easier. The marketing becomes easier. The content becomes easier. Everything just begins to flow.
Oh, for sure. And like, as you reflect on that month too, it was a shit show in like an absolute good way.
Yeah.
Where like, I felt like it was like on a walk. You're like, another person signed up. It was like in the car. And like, we were just laughing about it because we weren't even trying to set. And that's another thing too. We didn't have like a hard goal, because you and I both did really well that month. And it was like, it wasn't even, there was this like forced goal. It was like, could we like just go further? Like, could we do this more? And then the energy continued to like swell up, almost like a wave. And we were like, we're not going to fight the current. Like, we're just going to ride with it. And it's going to be fun as hell. And I think like, you know, since that day, we've always treated it like, you know what, it's the next wave is going to come. And if you line yourself up with it, you're just going to continue to be traveled and continue to carry. But it's a big thing. So we want to do this episode on this because sometimes it's not about your business. Sometimes the very thing that is preventing your business from growing is you not living your personal life. So go out there, like go live it. Take on something that you've never done before. Do something outside of your comfort zone. If you're not connected with your family, reconnect. If you're not connected with source or with God, you know, start like, take that leap, start going back, like, you know, be open to faith. Do the things that you haven't done in a while, and don't be like, what's the calculated result of this? Sorry, like, 60 steps down the road, there's going to be a result. I can't tell you what it is. And neither can Lauren.
Well, it's going to be more joy. Like, you cannot say you're going to do those things and not feel something, like feel different, feel alive. Like, even if like the thing you got was feel more alive, that is going to triple your business more than any strategy.
100%. Yeah. And thank you guys always for hopping on another live and reflections with the Costas. And remember, we're going to be on every Friday at 11:45 a.m. EST. Yes, I said PM last time. So
it's okay. The other day I said that we were going to be doing something tomorrow at 1 a.m. So it's all good.
Nice. Awesome. But thanks guys for tuning in, and feel free to hop on live with us and be a part of the conversation. That's why we're doing it on YouTube. More opportunities to communicate back and forth and bring all of you guys on the conversation. So more entrepreneurs, more business owners need to hear more of a message like this, because it's not just business. So thanks guys for tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode. Catch y'all later. Bye.